Minnesota Squad back with another video. I seen that's how it was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. So you have a post. Elon Musk said, had a lovely dinner last night with the President of the United States and the First Lady. 2026 is going to be amazing. So literally got, Elon Musk and President Trump, this was posted January 4th. So one thing about it is I truly, love the fact, that they're having a dinner. It's very strong. Somebody had put a comment, not too long ago saying that, it is very, powerful. It is very, what people want, is to see that President Trump, Elon Musk having, that relationship again. So I definitely love that. Definitely love that. So I'm sure many of individuals have heard the big news. Says here, this post by Fox News says, breaking: Minnesota Governor Tim Walz bows out of his re-election campaign, and criticism over a massive fraud scandal literally plaguing his state. So see it right here. I'm sure everybody's been talking about it. Literally have been the talk of the day. I'm not even gonna lie. When it comes to Tim Walz, I feel like we've all seen this, coming. It's not, and I truly feel like he knows for a fact that, it's about over. It's definitely about over. And I'm not speaking on a sense of him not being, governor anymore, just for the simple fact that things are closing in. Things are definitely closing in, and he's seeing it. He's seeing every bit of it. You got another post by Elon Musk said, put the flag of, Minnesota back. If y'all don't know, he did change the flag. Definitely changed the flag. This is the old Minnesota flag, and he has changed it. It truly does look like a Somalia flag. And it's pretty wild. Definitely wild. And we all see what's going on. Definitely sickening, definitely sad. This post right here, and I don't want to go, too much, over it, says President Trump declares no one is above the law as Tim Walz might resign as Minnesota governor before his term is even up. Says here, lock this traitor up.
I don't want to mince words here. Donald Trump and his allies in Washington and in St. Paul and online want to make our state a colder, meaner place. They want to poison our people against each other by attacking our neighbors. And ultimately, they want to take away much of what makes Minnesota the best place in the country to raise a family. They've already begun trying to withhold funds that were meant to help families afford child care. And they have no intention of stopping there. Make no mistake, we should be concerned about fraud in our state government. We cannot effectively deliver programs and services if we can't earn the public's trust. One
thing about it is that, he continued to put out multiple lies, about, what was going on in Minnesota. He put out so many lies of what has went on, and it's definitely sickening, that he did, and they tried to play this, oh, I didn't know this was going on, when clearly they did. It's been going on the last 12 years. Says Minnesota corrupt governor will possibly leave office before his term is even up. But in any event, will not be running again because he was caught red-handed, along with Elon Omar and others of his Somalia friends, stealing tens of billions of taxpayers' dollars. No one is above the law. I'm telling y'all, definitely sickening. Check it out right here. It's posted by Benny Johnson. Fox News, check it out.
Major breaking political news out of St. Paul, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tim Walz will not seek re-election as governor, and what a fall from grace this has been for him. You might recall in the spring of 2023, he pushed through several progressive ideas to the state legislature that caught the attention of Barack Obama, who went to Twitter to give his endorsement for the programs, which eventually caught the attention of people like Kamala Harris, who chose him to be her running mate as the vice president. Introduced in Chicago at the convention in August of last year, a debate that was an absolute disaster, with J.D. Vance at one point called himself a knucklehead. But after reportedly billions of dollars have been stolen from taxpayers by way of the state of Minnesota, Tim Walz says he will not seek a third term. What a remarkable 2 years in the national spotlight has been for him, Dana.
And Walz hit Trump.
One thing about it, I feel like it's just gonna be another individual. It's gonna be another individual that, regardless, I truly just feel like he's just gonna be another individual that, and I don't want this to sound bad at all, y'all, but truly of what he has done, I have to say it. He's just going to be another individual that, is honestly, in a sense, forgotten about. And not forgotten about in the sense of, when you're going to hear Minnesota and you obviously going to think of how bad, Tim Walz did. But I feel like it's nothing going forward. Seeing how bad things have moved, and been for Tim Walz, I truly don't see, anything going forward for him. And I don't want to put any negativity on the individual. Y'all know I hate doing that, but I feel like it's the truth. Once you continue, and we talking about billions of dollars. The things he said, the things he's done, truly sickening. Truly sickening. This Nick Sorter is reporting right out in front of Tim Walz's residence, literally saying TikTok and Tim Walz needs to be leaving in handcuffs.
Good morning from outside the Minnesota governor's mansion. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning. Trump rally music blasting in the background as the chimney of the Minnesota governor's mansion, awaiting for the smoke card, has been selected. Tim Walz expected to drop out after the expose of, him being in bed with all the Somalis out here. I don't know.
Definitely. And people see it, people see how bad it has gotten regardless, and what he's done. I truly feel like I'm not even gonna lie, y'all, that, and I've seen multiple posts. I hope I put this post in here. I probably didn't. Of his daughter. He had put a post out, with his daughter. I don't think I put it in there. Honestly, I don't think y'all even wanted to see, but he had put a post out with his daughter, and basically, did what they did, saying, and I wish I could find it right now, saying that, he's done an amazing job. Kamala even made a post, different individuals making posts and saying, and the thing is that these individuals that are making these posts and saying things, they're in for it too, because of the things they have done. I'm telling y'all, it's truly crazy. This is Mike Lindo, talking about, Keith Ellison. We sit here talking about Tim Walz, we can talk about Ilhan Omar. There's others that, I'm telling y'all, shouldn't obviously be running for anything. Should really, honestly, either be deported or, in a prison cell. Not even gonna lie. Check it out.
Keith Ellison, I believe, has to be in on all this fraud. It couldn't have been on. For one thing, he obviously hasn't prosecuted anything. So if he's thinking of running, Steve, these guys, I guess we'll have to see how this plays out, but this guy, we can't have this thing goes horizontal and vertical. These, you got a crooked attorney general, governor, lieutenant governor. All these things. This is going to open up the most massive fraud the world has ever seen. And Keith Ellison shouldn't even be thinking about running. But if he is, bring it on. Bring it on. That'll be great. We'll just check into him, which should have been done a long time ago. He's got a history in him. I think he's part of the Muslim Brotherhood. This guy goes way back.
Definitely sickening, y'all. Definitely sickening. This is posted by Nancy May. Said, I agree with President. Deport the Somalians, ripping off our country billions. And honestly, y'all know how I feel about it. I'm not even gonna lie. Y'all know how I feel about it. There's so many things, y'all. So many things. And make sure y'all stay tuned for the next video that I'm dropping tonight, because there's so many things, so many new things that's coming out every single day about how bad it has gotten when it comes to, the scams, that they're constantly running, in Minnesota. It's definitely sickening. Definitely sickening. Here it is right here, President Trump, y'all.
It's almost not even believable. this very stupid, low IQ governor, he's a very stupid man because, I had a campaign against him with JD, and he's a stupid man, and he's a corrupt politician. And the Somalians are ripping off our country to the tune of, looks like $19 billion, but that's only what they can find. So usually when you're looking at 19, that would mean it could be 50. But the numbers are astronomical. Think of it. They have a dead country. They don't have government. They don't have anything. They don't have a military. All they do is run around shooting people and trying to capture ships. We don't let them take ships anymore. You know why? We use the same exact missile on them that we use on the drug carriers. And it's very effective.
So
You notice there's nobody capturing ships anymore? Because as they head out to go capture the ship, and the ship doesn't want to fire back because it's very flammable stuff in many cases. And the insurance companies don't want, because they build $1 billion ship, and they don't want anybody firing rockets into the ship. But we're hitting them so hard, and it's very similar. Same missile system. It's called Deadly Accurate. And do you notice that ships aren't being taken anymore? The pirates are.
That's right. I hadn't thought about
The pirates aren't. Well, no.
No Somali pirates.
It's actually very easy. They head out. We say, guess what? There's pirates. Bing. That's the end of the pirates. The shipping business is coming back because, see, these are little things that we're doing, and I'm doing it not just for American ships. I'm doing it worldwide because we don't want ships taken by Somalia pirates. But what they are doing is they're stealing money from the American taxpayer. And every one of them should be forced to leave this country, including Ilhan Omar, who's a total crook. And she's one of the leaders of it. Not the only, because she's not that smart. But think of it. $19 billion at least they've stolen from Minnesota and from the United States. It's actually more from the United States because Minnesota puts in, and we're not going to pay it anymore. We're going to have Walz go pay. We're not going to pay them, and we're not going to pay California, and we're not going to pay Illinois with that big slob of a governor that they have.
And you see how bad it is, of what he's talking about. It's just not talking about, in Minnesota, talking about California, talking about Illinois. There are multiple, Ohio. There are multiple places that, these things are going, and one thing about it, I'm not going to lie, that it needs to be, it needs to be action. It definitely needs to be action instead of, of words, definitely. So you have here this post by Eric Daughtery. Y'all can find this, and I usually say I try my best, y'all, to say who these posts are from, just so y'all can be able to look this stuff up too. But you have up to 2,000 federal agents are now set to surge to Minnesota to arrest illegal aliens and investigate massive fraud. Border Commander Greg Bonvino will reportedly join them on the ground. So I truly know for a fact that things will be done and things will get better. I feel like so many people don't realize that we already have issues here alone. We have issues here alone, with the crime that's going around, and I can go really deep into it, how much things that we're already going through. But to have individuals not only come here and do things, to U.S. citizens, and we've all seen some crazy stuff going on. But to steal billions of dollars is definitely pretty insane. Definitely pretty insane. Not even gonna lie. This is a post by the Democrats, at the Democrats, says, "Thank you, Governor Walz, for your service to Minnesota and to our country." Pretty, like I said, pretty wicked. Definitely pretty wicked. Just for the simple fact, that you're literally having and congratulating, and thanking a person that has allegedly did a lot of this, fraud. I'm telling y'all. This is another post, again, by another individual that is truly in for it as well. This is by Gavin Newsom. Said Tim Walz is a man of character, strength, and compassion. He has served Minnesota with heart and dignity. Minnesota and America is better off thanks to his lifelong public service. Wishing him all the best in his next chapter. Thank you, Tim Walz. It is definitely the best thing for him to do. I'm not gonna lie, definitely the best thing for him to do because, and honestly, I truly feel, and I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I truly feel as if it's not really gonna matter. And it's not gonna really matter because y'all have heard, the best thing for him to do is probably lawyer up because there are some things that I know for a fact is going to get done. And that's why he's taking that step because at first, if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna look up Tim Walz. If I'm not mistaken, to make this make sense, if I go down here, and I want to make this make sense, y'all. You literally have multiple posts of Tim Walz about, his reelection. Multiple. And then as y'all know, Nick Shirley, exposed a lot that's going on. He has, said that he's not, wanting to do that, anymore. And it literally just goes to show you the power of, a lot of independent journalists that are doing a lot. And I definitely, love, the simple fact that you have so many individuals that are doing a lot, going out here, getting out here. I've seen multiple independent journalists. I've seen faces, from X, faces from YouTube, that are going to Minnesota that are exposing, more and more of this. One thing about it, Nick Shirley, definitely congrats. I definitely say that. Definitely congrats of what you did. Not only, of having that big favor of dodging him actually being the vice president, but to help out a lot of people, in Minnesota with him backing out, So I definitely, congrats and big thanks to Nick Shirley for definitely doing that. Not even gonna lie. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate every single last one of y'all. Definitely much love to y'all. Catch y'all next one.